closed. What a day. I woke up early in the morning. I wake up before the sun. I've been under constant covenant warfare. In my sleep and my dreams, the demons, the unclean spirits, whatever you want to call it, either trying to have sex with me or feed me stuff or get me to yell at people. And then I got to wake up and rebuke everything and renounce it and sever all the covenants and take the witches and bind them, you know, using the name of Jesus. And then I go outside and it's like hitting a wall of heat because I have storage sheds that I have to open so that they don't get too hot and, you know, outgassing and all that stuff. And it's super hot and there's no end in sight for this. It's so hot in the evening. Now as I'm making this video to you, it's the evening. And I saw the hen. I have one single hen, which I'll explain what killed my hens. And we're going to talk about the reintroduction of fauna and megafauna and invasive fish species and all the stuff that they're doing on purpose to make it harder for us to live off the land and do that kind of stuff. And it sucks. Like I remember years ago hearing about how they wanted to reintroduce lions into the UK so that nobody would try and do that. Oh, we need lions again. There are some things that man has killed and wiped out to increase our chances for survival. In Romania, people still get eaten by wolves. In the savannah, people in Africa and different places, they still get eaten by lions. They get killed and eaten by lions. But in other parts of the world, they got rid of all the lions. Like in the UK, there's in England, they wanted to reintroduce lions. This isn't even a new story. This is like several years ago. They're like, we're going to put lions back in here again. So you stay in your Hunger Games district. And if you're trying, you know what I mean, like setting up boundaries, my opinion. But where I live, there's a whole bunch of things that don't belong here. And they did it on purpose. But I want to talk about, I have one hen and it was so hot in the evening. She had her wings open and she was breathing with her mouth open. I don't know, do chickens sweat or do they sweat through their mouth like a dog? Do you know that dogs don't sweat? That's when you pet them, they're not sweaty. That'd be pretty gross, right? Sweaty hound? No, they sweat through their tongue, that's where they paint. I don't know if you know this. But I don't know how chickens sweat. But it was so hot that she was keeping her wings open on her perch and her mouth was panting like a dog. And I was like, that's too hot outside. So she's back there. So I have one hen sleeping on a milk crate because she can like sink her claws into it and poop into the milk crate. So it's not a problem for me. You know, like that evening dump for a chicken. It's my last hen. I had 5 roosters. So you can Google search or whatever search you want to use, DuckDuckGo, I don't know how you like to search, and find out how many hens per rooster, but it's pretty much like 10 hens per rooster, maybe 12, I'm not sure anymore. But I had 5 roosters, and some of those roosters, no, that's not true. I had 7 roosters. I had the 2 original roosters, and then I had 5 that were hatched from a tree. Where I lived, it had been safe for years, and my chickens, and I've talked about this years ago if anybody remembers that, but my chickens would sleep in a tree at night. Even in the winter, they'd weather the winter in trees without leaves. It's a mulberry tree. They'd weather the winter in a mulberry tree, and I was worried about them because I couldn't get them to go into the hen house because I have one. They wanted to sleep in the trees above everything. There's a lot of predators around here. One of the neighbors has cameras set up. He likes to hunt, and he said that basically on the boundary between where my property and his is like predator central highway where coyotes and like wild cats, like big cats, like lynxes and stuff. We don't have any mountain lions that I'm aware of. Bears, rhinos, just kidding. But the big animals, the big predators, treat it like a walkway between the line between his property and mine. So I get the chickens wanting to sleep in the trees. Also, there's owls here. A regular occurrence in the evenings is to hear owls because there's old trees. And in the hollow trees, there's an owl that's lived there for years, for as long as I can remember, for as long as I've been living here. In the daytime, there's hawks. This year, I lost count at 20. Circling all together, flying around, I guess all looking for something to eat. Everybody's chickens and livestock. It's kind of rural. I said this before. Maybe it's like just almost a rural suburb, but maybe it's a little more rural than that here. So one of the other neighbors, on this side is Predator Highway, and on that side of me is there's a barn, and they have a bunch of different kinds of birds, like every kind of like chickens, ducks, geese. They probably have something else, and they have a lot of these things. And they introduced some kind of predatory cat, or like a nutria or something. I thought it was endangered in Canada, so they wanted to reintroduce them here where I live. But it may be that they were considered to be endangered here. So they're like, oh, we'll bring them in from Canada because Canada's got a lot of them. Maybe that was some kind of nutria. They look like beavers or groundhogs, but they have like red teeth. Or either that or it's some kind of wolverine, because the neighbors seen them because they were out in the broad daylight trying to kill his free-range birds. But I haven't seen one. But they were killing my chickens at night. I don't even know how many chickens I used to have. They were free to do whatever they want. And every now and then a hawk would get them. But I've seen 20 hawks this year circling above, and along with the hawks were eagles, because there's eagles here now. I don't know how they got here, but there's bald eagles, like the American eagle with the white head and everything. We got those now here. And they were never here before. They are now. Same thing with seagulls. There's like seagulls, like if you go to the shopping centers, there'll be people sitting in their cars in the urban areas, and they're throwing French fries to seagulls. Maybe not so much this year, the economy and everything. But seagulls, there are those, some kind of like gypsy moths or something, that they leave these like web sacks in the trees, and the caterpillars come out and they destroy the trees, and you can just like drive down a whole strip of road, you know, country road, and all the trees are just being destroyed by all these caterpillars because there's no way to get to them. And I've been killing them for years. I find ways, oh, it's that time of year when the caterpillars are coming, so I get them and I kill them and I squash them. I tried to have the chickens eat them, but they didn't even want to eat them, so I just squash them till it's like a green mess, because when you squish them, they're green. Then there's these Chinese, was it a damselfly? It's some kind of Chinese fly, and it looks like they have a red splotch, and they're pretty big, and they're probably something that China put over here on purpose to be a problem for us. And I guess those caterpillars mess up the trees and stuff too. We were told to kill them. Like, yeah, if you see those, you can kill them because they're not supposed to be here and they're a problem. So when I see them, I kill them. Japanese beetles every now and then. I think this year is the year of cicadas. Do they come out of the ground? Because there was little holes in the ground all over my yard, and it's all under the trees and stuff. So I was looking for their casings on the trees, because they come out of the ground every 4 or 6 years. I can't remember. That's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about all this reintroducing flora and fauna that's invasive. I didn't even get into the plants that we don't want. There's mugwort all around here. That's a problem. But we're going to stay focused on animals. We're going to talk about reintroducing musky lunges to eat all the other fish. I guess that's that story. Hey, you know what we need here? Lots of people around here like to fish. There's lots of water. There's lots of springs. It's a pretty great place to live. So they decided that they were, you know, the state game or whatever was going to reintroduce musky lunges because they suck to eat. Nobody wants to eat them. That's something somebody else told me. I didn't even know that was done because I'm not into fishing. I like to eat fish, but I don't have any fun going fishing or anything. So this year the emphasis was on, hey, why fish that people can eat when you know the economy's getting hard and people are relying on going hunting. There's weird stuff happening to the deer. Did you ever see the weird zombie deer that look like they're out of The Last of Us or something, where they're like changing into some kind of creatures or whatever? The hideous deer. Ticks. Scorpions. Just kidding. I wouldn't be surprised though. So where was I? There's all these things there. So they put musky lunges back into the water to eat up all the other fish, because immediately there's like guys around here like to fish. Everybody's fishermen. So they're like, why would they do that? That's just gonna eat up all the other fish. And apparently musky, I never eaten one because they're ugly and I don't want to eat them. But they reintroduced musky lunge to make it harder for us to eat the fish. They brought some kind of wildcat or wolverine or nutria something from Canada. That was like a couple years ago. And it's been a problem for people who have chickens, because a lot of people around here have them. Like everybody has eggs to sell to each other, and if you don't, and honey, a lot of people do honey. So there's a lot of eggs you can get. Like if you don't have to go buy eggs from the supermarket, one of your neighbors, you can just get eggs from them in the front yard, and you just trust that the people will put the money in there, because it's just like a cool thing. Like people that have eggs around here, there's like a surplus of eggs. I have so many eggs I couldn't give them away. I was giving them away to people, and then they were selling the eggs, taking them to work and selling farm eggs. I'm not even a farm, I'm just like a guy. So I don't even know how many chickens I had, but I know that I had 7 roosters. And you have to have a lot of hens, because you can't have 7 roosters and keep them satisfied with each other unless there's plenty of hens. I have 1 hen. I've tried to kill the hawks in the broad daylight, but I don't know if we're allowed to do that, so I've never done it. Just saying, I've never done that. And I've also never killed those weird fugly things from Canada that they brought here, because I don't know if you're allowed to do it because they're endangered or whatever. But if any of my neighbors were doing that, or pointing rifles into the sky to kill eagles or hawks, I would never tell. And again, I've never seen it, and I would never do that because I don't know the legalities of it. But I know that we're allowed to kill coyotes. They can be a problem. I don't know what the rule for bears are. I think you can kill them around here, but I wouldn't want to eat them. That's like one of the meats I wouldn't want to eat. I don't want to eat bear meat. I just don't want to. I know it's like a minuscule amount of trichinosis deaths from improperly prepared bears, but you know, I just don't want to eat them. I don't know why. Is that one of the animals in the Bible that was unclean to eat? Can you eat a bear? I don't know. A lot of hawks, turkey vultures. There's actually turkeys around here too, which is kind of cool. Because, you know, do you live someplace where there's wild turkeys showing up? There used to be lots of pheasants here. They got wiped out. But I remember seeing them. They were very pretty, and they were just wild. But people, I guess they taste good. People ate them, so they're not around anymore. But I have 1 hen who's asleep over there. Unless my talking and the music is ruining it. They used to sleep in a tree, like nothing could get to them, until they brought those damn whatever they are from Canada. I tried to find them for you so I could insert a picture of them here, but I did a search for, you know, reintroducing Canadian wildcats, and I did like several other searches. I checked to see if they were nutrias or whatever they were, and I couldn't get any results. But I tried. But they killed my chickens in the nighttime. I didn't know what was doing it at first. Somebody said, well, maybe it's an owl. And I'm like, no, too many are dying all at once, because I'd hear them screaming in the night from high up in the trees. And they said, well, maybe an owl's flying over to get them. And I was like, yeah, but there's too many of them dead, like real quick. So it's those stupid Canadian things. Because their heads were almost taken clean off. Like they just chomped down on them until they're like broken. And then I'd find like 5 of them a night, and then I was locking them up, and then in the daytime they'd get taken by the hawks, and I built like a cage to put them in so that they could be like, you know, it's like pretty big. I had a lot of fence. Somebody stole a fence from me. Whatever. I've been through a lot of. I had plywood stolen. I had like thousands of dollars of plywood stolen. So I have 1 hen. Long story short, between the hawks that I tried to kill them in the broad daylight, these hawks, they were young hawks, and they would come down and they go for the throat. I don't know, I guess there's a thing called a night hawk, right? So maybe they were getting eaten by night hawks, but they slept in the trees, and they lived that way for years. Like, I raised generations of chickens that one of the roosters died, and this is before they all started getting killed. One of the roosters died, and then one of the hens stayed in a 55-gallon drum. Because these chickens were insistent on sleeping high up in the trees because there's so many predators, even through the winter, because there's foxes and stuff too in the winter. I had ducks that the foxes got them and stuff like that. I put 55-gallon drums fastened to the mulberry tree, and I cut the both ends off, and then I put plastic 55-gallon drums too, because I'm not going to put like metal drums in a tree to get struck by lightning, if that's even possible. So they're plastic 55-gallon drums, and I drilled holes in them, and I fastened them into the trees, and I put straw in there, and then that means I have to climb up into the trees. So I did that so they could sleep. So what happened is the chickens started laying eggs in the trees. So when I collect eggs every day, I had to climb a tree, which I guess is good for my health. But for years, I would climb a tree every day and get the eggs that they would lay inside the 55-gallon drums in the trees. So one of my roosters died. The hen stayed on a clutch of eggs and hatched them. And it was Sunday morning, I came home from church, and there was all these little black dots on the ground, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And the day they were born, the chickens jumped out of the tree. The chicks, like the day they were born, they jumped out of the tree and they were on the ground. So then every evening I had to round them up and put the mother and the chicks inside of a cage to keep them alive, because, you know, like weasels or what, there's everything, like every kind of predator, every kind of bird. I suppose rats. I killed them. There was rats every now and then. I'd see one and I'd kill them. I have a red rider that was mine since I was a child, and if you get him with a headshot, it'll kill him. And the rats always do the same thing, and I'm sorry if you heard this before, because I've said this before. I get the trusty red rider that's still sighted since my childhood, that I also killed rats within my childhood, but it's got to be a headshot, and they always do the same thing, and I don't know why. They shoot up in the air, and then it lets you know how high a rat can jump, like high. Like a rat could jump into your face from the ground. I don't even know how tall you are, it doesn't matter. If you're really tall, then it could jump to your chest and get to your face. But I shoot them in the face, and they jump up really high, and then they roll, and I guess they're dying, and then I shoot them again. And I remember the first time I started killing the rats again in my adulthood, and my buddy was over, and he said, just pick up a cinder block, stop filling it full of BBs. He said, it's a waste of BBs. He said, just pick up a cinder block and throw it in it. So I shoot them in the head, and then it has to be a headshot, otherwise it doesn't kill them. And then they jump up in the air, and then they roll, and then I smash them dead with a cinder block. So now there's no more rats. I wiped them out. And if I didn't wipe them out, they don't show themselves. And they're attracted to the feed from the chickens and probably to the shit, and they can smell it and everything. And I used to have ducks, and somebody told me, and it's true, like, if you have ducks smell good to every kind of predator, and it's like a distinct smell. So like if you have ducks, it attracts predators like foxes and everything that would eat a duck, which is everything, right? And I have rabbits, which are not harmful. They're just like things to be preyed upon. There's somebody's cat, like one of the neighbors has a cat, and every now and then they'll find like a chewed up bird, because it's basically like a bird sanctuary here. And I don't mean like live, like chickens and everything. I just mean like wild birds. I see all kinds of weird birds. I don't know what they are. And they're used to me. I'm like furniture to them. So I should just start doing some videos outside in the daytime on the weekend, and then you can hear the chorus of nature. Usually I'm not talking to myself outside though. I don't know if that'll affect the birds chirping, but all day long they're talking to each other. I have squirrels here. I didn't realize how noisy squirrels were when they see me every day. I'm just like one of the neighborhood. I'm like furniture basically. So there's chipmunks too, but they don't really make any noise. except for when they get caught in the rat traps, which I don't set anymore because there's no rats. I used to catch sparrows in the rat traps trying to catch the rats. That was not pleasant. I don't mind killing rats. They're ugly. I hate them. They can die. I know people have rats for pets. I don't care. Kill them. I kill rats. I'm a rat killer. I kill them with my trusty Red Ryder from childhood. But the squirrels yell at each other like all day long. Like there's like, I don't know how many generations it's been now of squirrels. And there's lots of trees for them to be in. There's cranes that they build these huge nests in the top of the trees. Now I'm finding out that there's eagle nests in the trees. And there's the hawks. So everything lives here. And they all want to eat my chickens. And I have one chicken left. And between those stupid things they brought here from Canada, and eagles and hawks, and whatever else got them, I have one hen. And it's bothered me so much that I haven't got any more hens, because I kept doing it. Like I was down like a whole bunch of birds, because I lost like in 2 nights I lost like 10 hens and a rooster or 2. But the roosters would disappear. I didn't find their bodies. And then every now and then, you know, it just happens. Like every now and then somebody gets got, and there's nothing I can do about it, you know, except bury them and mourn or whatever. But it got really bad and I couldn't keep up with it. I remember I was armed and I was waiting, because it's pretty much they'd show up as soon as it got dark, whatever it was that was killing my chickens that slept in the trees with the 55-gallon drums. And even in the winter with the 55-gallon drums, I thought they would go inside the 55-gallon drums to stay warm, so that the wind wouldn't hit them. Like, I mean, through snow and sleet. They're tough birds, and to have hatchlings hatched in a tree, they were tough, big, beautiful birds. I never even ate them. I only ever ate the eggs, and the shells were so hard to crack. They were healthy birds down to 1. It really pisses me off, and I just want to kill everything. I want to kill the hawks. I want to kill the eagles. I want to kill foxes. I want all dead. Those Canadian things, I want them dead. So, and the neighbors saw the Canadian thing, the things they brought here from Canada in the daylight, and he said it was just like an ugly black thing. And what he described to me sounded like an otter or like a nutria rat or something like that. But I've never seen them. I had an armed vigil. I was waiting by my door, and I put the car film that you make your tinted windows. It's like a sheet of plastic. I bought a whole roll of it, and I covered the front door, the what do you call it, like the screen door, but it's got glass on it. It's like the door, it's like the first door before the door that you can make your screen door in the summer. So I covered that so that I could see out, but you couldn't see in. So I just sat there armed and waiting. I sat there armed and waiting for it to go after my chickens, and I heard the scream. I fell asleep, and it was like around 9 o'clock in the PM. So I heard the screams, and I ran outside, and I could hear it getting away, but I couldn't see it. I never saw, not one time I've ever seen these damn things. But then I looked on the ground, and then there's a bunch of dead hens and a dead rooster, and their heads are almost clean off every time. I never caught what the hell it was. But I think it was one of those things from Canada, because I heard it running away. If it would have been an owl like was suggested, or a hawk, it would have flown away. But I chased it, but I never even saw the damn thing. And one of the neighbors said about setting up like a big cage, trying to catch it in a big cage. It's like putting a chicken in there and letting it go in the nighttime. Just to try and get the damn, there's probably a bunch of them. But it's frustrating, and I think it's on purpose. I think they're reintroducing stuff on purpose that we would eat, or that our birds. Like, what's one of the things they did? If you bought your, I don't know that Tractor Supply ever made a public statement about it, but there's enough videos and people talking about it happening to them, because again, a lot of people have birds. But food that came from Purina that went to Tractor Supply was making it so that whatever birds you had, because you ate the eggs, those birds didn't lay eggs. It was making them infertile or something, made it so they couldn't lay eggs, and it was a problem. And if you look on YouTube, there's videos on this, and it's true, it happened. It didn't happen to me though, because I didn't want to get this crap from Tractor Supply. There's enough local grain places around here that they make their own mixes, and like they even make mixes of deer, like stuff to feed deers, and weed seeds that you can plant to attract deer, so that when they get close enough you can pop them. You know, like you can sit in your bathroom window like a hillbilly, which is cool by me. I have nothing against hillbillies, and you just pop them, you know. I'm sure it's loud, but and you can just, you know, stay inside and shoot deer that you feed or whatever. I think that might be illegal to do. I don't know if you're even allowed to set up, like, you know, corn and stuff like that, but I guess it is legal to attract a deer, because they have things at the local seed and grain. They have these things called deer mixes, and it's all different kinds of weed seeds and stuff that they like, and you just throw them out and plant them and let them come up, and they come up easy because they're weeds and they're native things that deer like to eat, and then you can blast them and eat them. But there's a bunch of weird things. Like I said, in the UK they wanted to reintroduce lions. I heard them talking about wanting to reintroduce wolves in America. Coyotes are a problem. Where I live now, coyotes weren't native, but they brought coyotes in because of deer overpopulation, so they said. Then there's a weird, you know, zombie T-virus shit or whatever that is. And the musky lunges and Japanese beetles. Nothing's new. They got here however they got here. There's the Chinese moth. I forget what that's called. It's like some kind of, it has like a red spot on it or whatever. They look kind of cool, but you know, I was like, oh, look at this, what are they? And then somebody said, kill them, kill every one of them. So I've been killing them because we're allowed to kill them. And then I've seen, again, it looks like some kind of, something from a movie where there's like these cobwebs over the trees and stuff like that. But it's the caterpillars, sack full of caterpillars for some kind of moths, and then the caterpillars come out and they just decimate the trees. And yeah, there's all these kinds of things. I guess I just wanted to talk about that stuff, and maybe you know about more stuff. I don't know where you live. Maybe they're reintroducing rather, stuff that you don't want in your area. I feel like they're doing it on purpose to make it harder for us, like giving us competition for food. Like the musky lunch thing is bullshit. And like I said, every third guy around here, probably 3 out of 4 guys around here likes fishing. So everybody's like, why musky lunges? It's not a problem. Like now everything's tough and you're gonna make it hard. You're gonna introduce musky lunges so they eat all the fish that we would eat, that humans would eat. These stupid Canadian things. I don't know how the eagles got here. They just flew here or whatever. There's too many hawks. I hope that we're allowed to kill them, because like, boy, you could just like shoot up safely and not over anybody's house or everything and just pick them off. I hope that it's legal to do that, because they kill chickens. They're chicken hawks. If it's a hawk and they kill chickens, any kind of hawk can be a chicken hawk, and it sucks. And there's bears and foxes and all this other stuff, but they've always been here. That's just been around. The coyotes were here before I moved here, but I know that you can kill coyotes. I thought I had seen a wolf. I had a date and we were in the car just talking at like 3 in the morning and the headlights were on, and a coyote walked right in front of the car and stopped. It was like this, it was just casually walking, and then it stopped and it looked right at us, like right in front of the car. And then we looked back at the coyote and we're like, what is that? I was like, and we thought it was a wolf because it was so big. It was like, it's like a big white wolf like you see in Game of Thrones or something. It was huge. And no, I found out when I saw a big dead pile of them at the game wardens that they're just coyotes. And I'm like, that's a coyote? And they're like, yeah, wolves are way bigger. And I'm like, how big is a wolf? Go look at how big wolves can get. They get freaking huge. Did you ever see that video, which I think was in Canada, where it's a mountain lion fighting a wolf, and then the lion wins. I kind of wanted the wolf to win, but I wouldn't want to see either one of them. I used to live in Colorado. I don't know why I'm pointing that way. Yeah, over there's Colorado. I used to live in Colorado, and there was like multiple overpass, underpass, highways, and then there was like a median, and in the middle of the median was a mountain lion, and I was like, wow, like in like rush hour traffic, like everybody's coming home from work, and there's a lion in the median just looking and just waiting for an opening to be able to cross the road. And they were huge. And when I lived in Colorado, I lived in the suburbs, and there would be warnings like, hey, if you have dogs, make sure you keep them on a leash if they have to go outside at night, because there's a mother lion and her cubs, so don't let them be outside, because the mother lion was looking for people's dogs to eat with her cubs, because they were eating people's dogs. Probably good fatty meat, because the way that people in the suburbs feed their dogs. But yeah, oh look, they killed our Pomeranian. There's no meat on there. They probably were disappointed killing it's all fur. And then you got to kill 3 other dogs to feed your cubs. But it was huge. It was like it's all muscles. And the lions in Colorado don't have the big manes and stuff. The ones with the manes are the kind that they wanted to reintroduce into the UK or London, or not London, in England or wherever it was, in English countryside. But yeah, crazy stuff. Also, I'll just throw this in because we're talking about weird animal stuff, because I'm talking about weird animal stuff to you. In Belgium, I saw those Hulk cows. It's like a red cow, and it's all muscles. Like you can see every striation of the muscle. It looks like they're gonna explode. It looks like they shouldn't be able to move properly. Like there's totally jacked cows. And I guess it's not even genetically modified, so they say. It's just they kept breeding and breeding and breeding till they got to that kind of cow. I remember seeing those, and I didn't know anything. This was probably like early 2000s, and we were like, what the hell is that? They looked like the Incredible Hulk, like if the Incredible Hulk was a cow. Remember that Hulk movie where we had the Hulk dogs? Well, these were Hulk cows. They were crazy. And we thought it was like GMO, like what are they doing in labs or whatever? But they're just like a breeding. They just kept breeding these cows until they got these like Hulk cows or whatever. Seen those. That was a weird thing. Like, do you ever see something that like, wow, I don't know if that should exist. But yeah, it's a real pain in the butt. I have one hen, and it was so hot. I mean, she's like had her arms out and her mouth's like she's panting. Like I was like, that's two. So I brought her in. I don't want to bother her, but yeah, I should just bring her in every night. And she's old. I don't even care if she lays eggs anymore. I took the barrels out of the trees. I'm like, I have one hen and I won't let her sleep up there. For a while before I could convince her, I keep her penned up now in the evening on the porch. And so she just comes in on the porch. But before I trained her to do that, I had to every night go and get her out of the tree. I'm like, what do you want to do? You're the last chicken. I had like 4 chickens, and then 3 of them went. The rooster went, and then one of the hens never came back. And then I had two hens, a young hen and the hen that's a hatchling. That, you know, she right over here in old videos that aren't even up anymore, you could hear little baby chicks peeping. I had a light bulb, and then they would have the light bulb on them in the nighttime until I turned the lights out. And that's my last hen came from like, you know, a cardboard box. She was a chick, and they're super tough. Like they went through the winter in trees, and it pisses me off so bad that I never even got to kill. I never even got to kill any of the animals that killed my hens, and the roosters. And the roosters, I mean, I don't want to say anything filthy, but they were huge cocks. They were. And their feet looked dangerous. They looked like dinosaur legs or whatever, because they were so healthy and so strong, and they were freaking huge. I don't even know if the breed was huge. They were just healthy. They were beautiful. Iridescent feathers and everything. The roosters, the males always look like prettier than the females. They have like brighter colors and stuff. Did you ever see a red robin? Yeah, is it a robin or a cardinal? I think it's called cardinals. There's a red cardinal, and they're really bright and they're really cool. And then the females, like, not as bright, and they have brown wings or whatever. There's woodpeckers around here. Woodpeckers have fluorescent red heads, not orange like a parking cone, but it's like fluorescent red. It gets so bright that I would say that it looks like it's in the realm of fluorescence. That's how bright the head of a woodpecker is. And I get to see all these things because when I feed the chickens whatever they don't want, then every other kind of bird comes around. So I see all these crazy birds, I don't even know what they are. And even with one hen I do. And I get why people hate squirrels. I mean, I'm okay with the squirrels now, but for a time I realized that the squirrels were bullying the chickens away from the food so they could get the best stuff first. And because all the roosters were dead, so there was no roosters to go after the squirrels. So I have to decide whether or not I want any more chickens. And I wonder when they're gonna try and like, because they destroyed like 360 some or 320 some food processing plants. And remember all the stuff when we got locked up for a while, and they were destroying all the places, and this is in America, we're USA. They were destroying all these places for poultry and stuff because it's really easy maintenance, and you can eat chicken and they're great, and eggs and everything. So I'm waiting for the time, which I hope never comes. Lord, I pray that they never even, that whatever they try to do fails. But I'm sure they'll probably do something like, oh, there's some kind of bird flu or something, so now everybody has to get rid of their chickens. So they try to use like, no, like, you know, the neighbors, they want the neighbors to fight with each other so that nobody can have chickens because you're gonna get a cold, the chicken flu or whatever. So I pray that it fails. You can pray for stuff like this, to pray to make it fail. Maybe I should have prayed more to keep the birds alive, but yeah, I got one hen, and I pray that she has I pray that she has a peaceful and unashamed passing. And she was always the boss hen, and she's seen like so many other generations come and go and have their heads torn off, sometimes in the broad daylight by stupid hawks. So brazen. I'm like, I'm right here. What the hell are you doing? I don't know, it's been a source of frustration. And then, you know, it's not close to me, but you can see them from a distance. I remember talking to the neighbors, talking about how many hawks were, and I lost count at 20 hawks. They're all flying together, trying to figure out how to kill all his birds. And then he saw the nutria or whatever the hell it is. What he described sounded like a wolverine. It didn't sound like a cat. I thought it was some kind of wild cat, but I've never seen them. This is bullshit animals they brought from Canada. And I said again, I just feel like I'm repeating the same points over and over again. I think they brought them here just to make competition for us, for the humans. Stupid. So anyway, what problems do you have? Because I'm sure there's stuff. I mean, do you remember the videos I did last year about why they keep having outbreak monkeys released into the wild? They're trying to reintroduce monkey populations around here. They're just trying to reintroduce diseases using the monkeys. Remember the Alpha Genesis monkey story? I should have tried to keep you here with that at the beginning, right? I was just complaining about birds. I'm sorry if you didn't like this one, because I'm just complaining about losing livestock. I had goats too, but I gave them away. They were eating the bark off my fruit trees, and I was like, this is not a good place for the goats. But I did get nailing them. I did nail down milking them, and it wasn't easy, but once I got the hang of it, I'd get it done in like 10-15 minutes. And it was so much milk I was giving it away. And you gotta milk them because it hurts them if you don't milk them. They just keep making the milk and it hurts them, so you gotta milk them. But the goats were adorable. They were like dogs, except that dogs, dogs can chew stuff up, but goats are like dogs. I didn't know that. They're really sweet. I remember the one goat was a runt, and it was really friendly because it was bottle fed. I guess the mother wouldn't take care of it, and it was tiny, and it stayed tiny, like the African goats or whatever, but it stayed like really tiny, and it was so super friendly and adorable, and that was everybody's favorite goat because it was just like, it stayed like a puppy even when it was grown up and everything, because it was bottle fed to keep it alive, and then it just was healthy. It just was like a healthy goat. I kind of miss the goats, but I don't. It's kind of nice not to have to milk every day, because you got to milk every day, and then you got to breed them again so that the milk keeps making the milk. And I was like, that's not cool. I mean, I think there are some breeds of cows that just make milk. They were bred to always make milk, so you can just have milk. But then you got to milk them. Did you ever go to a place to get like raw milk or something, and then the cows will come right up to you and they want you to milk them because like nobody milked them, and they're like, no, it hurts, like milk, they want to be milked. Like, I had that happen to me. I went to a place to get the raw milk, and the cow came right up to me, and I'm like, oh, so friendly. And then the guy says, yeah, she wants you to milk her because she needs to be milked. The cow's like bugging, like I'm a complete and total stranger, and she's like, yeah, come on, milk me, this hurts, get this shit out of here. You want milk? Get it right from the tap, Tom Green style. Milk me. You clip that. Milk me, that's for the ladies. We gotta get married first. So, yeah, that's just that's just this episode, is I just wanted to complain about my troubles with animals. I don't even know what to title this one. Should I title it Reintroducing Competitive Fauna? Maybe. But the alpha genesis monkeys, I saw it happening. It was last year all over the country in America. I mean, in Florida they've had monkeys because they have like breeding facilities in Florida, I guess up at Everglades or something, where they just know that monkeys got out like for a long time, like over maybe even 70 years ago. Monkeys, they just have monkeys up there in the glades or whatever, and they survive. But all over the country I was noticing these stories, and then one of the names of the monkeys that got out of the research facilities were called the alpha genesis monkeys. Doesn't that sound like some movies bullshit? What was 28 years later? Remember that 28 days later, where the activists let the monkey out of the cage and then it bit him and it made the zombies? Is that like some kind of disclosure stuff? So they did 28 years later. Is that about all these monkeys that were escaping research facilities last year across the country? Because the stories kept popping up enough that I made videos on it. I think I had like 3 or 4. Oh, look, here again, some more monkeys got out into the wild in places where they wouldn't be, and then they don't try and get them. And then I did those videos. Hey, get your drones and put a gun on them and start droning down, find the monkeys and kill them. Kill the monkeys. Kill the monkeys. Don't get in trouble. Or if you're not allowed to, well then don't kill the monkeys, of course, don't do that. But I mean, I can imagine somebody like, oh look, there's a monkey in the woods, and they want to try and make friends with it, and next thing you know, like, people are biting each other and shit. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a revelator to sort of, cast spells on people so that you think about this stuff and worry about it. I was just talking about how, like, shit where they're trying to do, like when they want to reintroduce lions into the UK, that's bullshit. What is that, 12 Monkeys? What's 12 Monkeys about? Isn't that the one where Brad Pitt, I don't know, released 12 Monkeys or something? Remember that, Bruce Willis? I don't know. So anyway, yeah, so people said about the muskie lunges, and they were bitching about it. I said, well, every time you catch one, kill them. Catch a muskie lunge and kill it. And that's one less muskie lunge. If you go fishing and keep catching them, keep killing every single expletive deleted one of them. And do everything you can to decrease their numbers so that they don't eat up all the fish that we want to eat. BS. So anyway, Planet Daddy issue, call your father, who who art in heaven. We can pray against these things. We can pray for their plans to fail. I want to say it so fast I can't even get the words out in the right order. So we can pray for their plans to fail. Maybe they're reintroducing some kind of weird stuff, some kind of, oh, you know what we need? This invasive plant species. Do you know the story of Hawaii? Hawaii, everybody walked around barefoot, and then I think it was missionaries, or so they say, went to Hawaii and started releasing thorned plants all over Hawaii where there weren't any thorns. Thorned plants so that people couldn't walk around barefoot anymore because the guys were snakes and vipers. Remember that? I'm not supposed to say vulgarities anymore, so there's snakes and vipers. So these bozos went around sowing thorn plants in Hawaii so that the natives, the people whose land it was, would have to wear shoes. And that's awful. And there's some people said that deer tick was stuff, the deer ticks that give people Lyme's disease, that was something that was messed with in a lab and released out to cause trouble for us. We can pray against these things. Please, Lord, make their plans fail so that we can't eat anything, so that we have to stay in our Hunger Games district and hunting's illegal and everything's poison and all the lies. ChatGPT uses a lot of water. Who cares? The planet's mostly water because the earth was flooded by God, you know, to give us a chance. What do you need to ask ChatGPT? What do you need to know anyway? My phone sleeps in a Faraday box. What do you think about that? I made it myself. It's a tinfoil hat for your phone. And then I put it inside of an aluminum box inside the Faraday box. And it's off because I hate cell phones. And I hate megafauna. That's why we got rid of it. We got rid of the wolves. You know why there's not a problem in America with wolves? Because we killed them all on purpose. Did you ever hear about the wild dogs and the lie stories of Tom Brown Jr. who went around killing wild dogs and stuff like that? That's lies. Anyway, Tom Brown Jr. He's a liar. Anyway, I'm gonna go call God and pray this evil nonsense away. And I thank you for hanging out with me. If you heard this, let me offer you a blessing. Lord, bless everyone who stayed around to the end of this video. Bless them, because I don't know how helpful it was to them. So at least if they've stuck around to the end of this video, this episode, Lord, honestly, sincerely, and truly, Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, the only begotten Son of the Maker of all things, please, Lord, please, Jesus, bless these people when they hear these words and they're online. And get offline and turn the computer off and turn the monitor off and go ask God for help and be persistent and keep bothering him until he, you know, has to either judge in your favor or decide that you really don't need the thing you keep bugging him about. But pray without ceasing. Pray every day. Pray in the morning. Pray at noon when you have your lunch break. You can do it inside yourself. Pray over every meal. Bless every meal. I mean, God did say that we would eat poisons and they wouldn't have effect on us and stuff. All the food is poison. They poison everything that we eat. So pray over your food and bless it in the name of Jesus Christ, because his name is the name that saves, right? Sleep paralysis, night terrors, alien abduction stories, near-death experiences, exorcisms. Saying Jesus works. And say Jesus. Don't say Jesus or Yeshua or Josh Christ or anything. Say Jesus. Say his name. Say it. And Lord, bless these people. Bless the 12 people who watch this video to the end. Bless each and every one of them, Lord. I pray that they would hear these words and that they would be blessed. Bless you. It's Planet Daddy issue down here. It's the one issue we all have. We need to set ourselves right with our Father who art in heaven and beg for him to forgive us. It's called repenting, and figure out what it is that you did wrong today and all throughout your whole life, and ask him to forgive you, because you want to be forgiven your sins. And also learn how to forgive other people. I know it's hard to do. It's easy to ask to be forgiven, but it's hard to forgive sometimes. But it's the precondition in the Lord's Prayer. He said, if you want to call me, here's my number. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, spiritual nourishment. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, and here's the precondition, as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For yours is the kingdom. It's the only place you want to be, forever. Yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. And amen means so be it. But forgive us our trespasses, our debts that we owe that we cannot pay. Forgive us for sinning and for sinning against other people. And since we want to be forgiven, we have to forgive those who have trespassed against us, those who may be indebted to us that owe us and cannot repay. Remember the unforgiving servant who begged his master, please forgive me, Lord. And then he went to a guy beneath him and he said, hey, you better pay up, I want all the money now. And the guy said, but I don't have any money, forgive me like your master forgave you. And then the unforgiving servant said no, and he took him to court and they locked the guy up in jail. And then the unforgiving servant's master found out about it. And he said, what did you do? You had that guy sent to jail because he owed you money. Why didn't you forgive him? I let you go. Why didn't you let him go? Why didn't you pay it forward? And he said, fine, I'm taking you to court. And then they threw the unforgiving servant into jail along with the guy that he put in jail. And he got tortured worse than the guy that couldn't pay him. And he earned it. So you got to find a way to forgive. Maybe you don't want to see that person again, but you do have to find a way to forgive them. Why? If only because you don't want to go to hell for somebody that's really hard to forgive because you couldn't forgive them. And because I don't even know what horrible things that you did that you need to be forgiven by God, but I'm sure it's something. So if you want to be forgiven, you have to honestly, sincerely, and truly be able to forgive those who have wronged you, those who owe you that cannot pay you back. Because I lost my train of thought. You have to be able to forgive people because you want God to forgive you, right? It's an obvious thing. I don't know how I forgot that. You want to be forgiven, you have to be willing to forgive. But sometimes you move on. Like, you forgive the person to God. Oh, I remember what it was I wanted to say originally. If you're having a hard time forgiving somebody, that's what prayer is for. Please, Lord, I don't know how to forgive this. This is a big one. She was horrible to me. Do you believe what they did to me? It was my own family. How do I forgive them, Lord? Teach me, oh Master, my King and my God. Teach me how to forgive them. I want to be forgiven my sins, but I don't know how to forgive this. So you pray, you bring it to God in prayer. You ask Him to help you, and then be patient. Pray, you can pray for patience too, and in time you will be able to forgive them. I didn't think it was possible to forgive some people, and I'm pretty much forgiven everybody. I mean, we're all kind of in the same boat down here, right? We're all in the same imperiled world, and I think about the things where I've wronged other people, and I know why I did it. So you have to take that context of how you want to be forgiven because you know why you did the things that were wrong. So when you look at people that have wronged you, you're like, well, I know why they did that, because you know why you did the stuff that you did. It makes it easier to forgive them. And I don't even know who you are, but I want you in heaven, and the person that it's hard to forgive, because whatever the devil wants, I just don't want him to have anything. I want to take everything away from him and his minions. Whatever evil wants, I want to give everything to God, and then I want him to get rid of the evil. You know, and we can cast out demons and all that stuff too, and rebuke things. We can rebuke evil spirits. We can sever the covenants that come to us in our sleep and our dreams, when we're preyed upon in our dreams and our sleep. And maybe it's time for me to do some of that sleeping and then waking up and breaking the covenants, because they're always trying to feed me stuff in my dreams, getting me to sign things. Sleep can be spiritual warfare. Or the demons are trying to get me to look like beautiful ladies and trying to get me to lay with them and all this kind of stuff, trying to go down on me. And I'm like, hey, hold on, this is a dream, and God doesn't want those kind of dreams. No nocturnal emissions, no way, not for me. So go read Leviticus, was it 15 or 18? Where does it talk about the laws of bodily discharge? Did you know that was part of the Old Testament? When the laws being laid down by God, I guess to Moses, It's the laws of bodily discharge for men and women. And part of that is nocturnal emissions. Do you really want the ghoulies and the coonlins to get you when you're sleeping? That's gross. Maybe you better pray to God. Pray for actual sleep. And stay away from online dream dictionaries. They try to get you to eat anything or to have sex. You wake up, you rebuke it, and you sever the covenant, and you release yourself from any subtle evil covenants that have tried to take shape in your life, and you renounce them, you rebuke them, you reject them, and you sever and destroy the covenants, and you cast them into the eternal fire, the living God. I don't want to get too complicated. I feel like I'm starting another episode here. So anyway, yeah, peace be still, peace be with you. Bless you. Pray. That's what the wealthy elite, that's what the 1%, they don't want you to pray and ask Jesus for help, because if enough of us pray for the same things, God says, wow, everybody's praying for the same stuff. Maybe I'll get involved, because they're praying, because he wants you to pray. So ask God for help and never stop. And, sometimes take times to say thank you, because you know what it's like if you have somebody in your life that just always asks you for stuff, and that's the only time you see them. Do you really is that the kind of relationship you want to have with your maker? No, you got to say thank you. Thank you for the good things that you don't even, thank you for the good things known and unknown, and thank you for the good things to come, Lord. And be specific. Wow, I had a beautiful experience today with my grandchildren, whatever. Thank you for this time with them, and protect them and bless them and everything like that. Oh, thank you, it was a great day. I went fishing. I had a date. It went well. It was just whatever went good for you. Just thank God. You can do this daily too. It's part of the morning and evening prayers in the Orthodox Study Bible. Not that everything's Orthodox, because I have big problems with Orthodoxy, Christianity, but which you well know from my other videos. But you can, in the morning and evening prayers, it does, there's always thank you, God, and forgive me, God. Thank you for everything this day. In the evening prayers, thank you for everything this day, and also please forgive me for my sins this day, because maybe you know what you did. Please, Lord, forgive me every sin known and unknown. And I pray for peaceful, undisturbed sleep, free from dark satanic fantasies, without nightmares, sleep paralysis, nocturnal emissions, without lustful sexual dreams. I pray for real sleep, Lord. I pray for actual sleep without spiritual warfare. Please grant it, O Lord. Amen. You can pray. You can pray that. You can pray that every night. You can pray for safe travels before you go to bed. You can pray for safe travels in the morning. Please, Lord, keep us safe as we go out and as we come in. Amen. So anyway, it's Planet Daddy issue down here. It's the one issue we all have. It's inescapable. We all have it. Some people are really mad at Dad. It's silly to hold a grudge against our Father who art in heaven. He only wants the best for us. And you don't realize, maybe, that all he wants for us is the good things. And that's where spiritual warfare comes into play. You pray to God that you'll be recompensed sevenfold for the things which the enemy has taken away from you. I dare say you could demand it. Find out where that is in the Bible. Look it up on your phone or on the computer or wherever. Same. And say, where in the Bible does it say that we ask to be recompensed sevenfold for the things which the enemy has taken away from us? Because the Lord wanted good things for us, only good things. But this is a fallen world that's under spiritual warfare. You know that the angels they come down and give a message to somebody that they got to fight to get back up into heaven? Yeah, heaven is under constant warfare as well. Not in it, but like between here and between the earth and and God's heaven, it's pretty rough. You can't handle it like God knows how to handle it. So thank him and ask him to be forgiven, and tell him you love him, and tell him I love him when you see him. Tell him to call me back. There's several things I want to know about, and I feel like I keep leaving messages on his answering machine, and I want him to call me back. So anyway, bless you. Pray to God. Call your Father. Amen.